Hello, hello. Hopefully that's all working. I can see already some people in the chat. Probably because I posted about it more than 10 minutes before actually going live this time. So, we've got Maiko here, we've got Gerald, Bolly, JTax, Tiny LED Matrix, Don't You Even Start. We've got Ben C and Mr. 2M, or Mr. Tom. Rota, wow, I don't know how to say your name. Hoja Dirty, maybe. Sorry if I've ruined that. Andy Mouse is here, Henrik, Dundee Road, Johnny's here, Adam Welch is here, Kev's Electrical Workshop's here as well. Hey guys. So I'm feeling weirdly nervous today. I don't know why. I think it's because because of the antics yesterday maybe. Anyway, today we're going to be doing more of this. I mean, the thing about it is, there's a guy called Lassie in the last stream who was sort of telling me where I went wrong with the circuit. And in fact, he posted a comment on the video afterwards. And so I went back and I went to my Eagle schematic, because I said that I designed this. Hang on. I've got a stream playing on another screen, it turns out. There we go. So I went back to my Eagle schematic and I'd done it all right in there. So I designed the whole board in Eagle, except for I couldn't lay it out in the way that I wanted to with the parts I'd selected because of the board size limitations at the time. So yeah, basically the whole thing is born of laziness and learning how to use KiCad or KiCad for the first time. So I shouldn't really have sent my first board off that I made in KiCad. And the reason I know this is because I've re-looked at my schematic and noticed some more mistakes. So I'm going to show you them to you now. And we may have to work around them. I don't really think it's going to involve some bodges actually. But we'll see. Jet Gyrotech is here. Hey. Okay. We are going to be lighting up lights today. We're going to go and populate most of the rest of the circuit. Let me just switch camera, or screen rather. And that one. There we go. So we're back in KiCad, and today we're going to be plonking in the 4017. And I've already noticed I don't think I need that resistor there. I don't remember why I put it in there. I think my assumption is that I thought I didn't know whether the carryout would go low after it's gone high, or whether it would have a sort of kind of a logic level response. So I wanted to make sure it went low. So that clock goes over to the first 4026. So this clock is driving everything. So I need to make sure that's right. We may or may not need R3, which is meant to be a 10K resistor. Now I've also realized that the whole of this circuit will not work unless I populate the TTP233, which is the reset button, because that one should hold the reset line low. Now what I didn't check was this TTP233 is a touch IC, and the Q output is active high or active low, and I've got it to active low. And I don't know whether that means I have to touch it first to stop it, to like, it should be the other way around really. And I'm not sure if it is a low signal or whether it's just sort of floating. So what I might have needed to do was put a pull down resistor on reset. And in fact, that would have been a smart thing to do. So I'm probably going to do that. And then I thought, well, I can't just populate the one. I need to populate some other ones. So I started to look at these other segments here, and I realized that I don't need this diode, and I don't need this pull down resistor, and I don't need this diode, and I don't need this pull down resistor. I think. I'm not entirely sure yet. The reason I did that, and what I did was probably copy and paste, because these are modular, I probably copied and pasted these along and then decided I needed a pull down, but I don't. So, or at least I don't think I do. So yeah, I copied and pasted that diode across, and the diode's required for when you get to segments like this, which resets on a certain bit. So this is 50, it's for the 59th minute. So is that right? Seconds. 1 minute. Oh, hang on a minute. Yeah, so that resets at 59, and so it goes through the 4073. Now, I don't think we're going to go so far as to put 4073 in yet. We're just going to do these 3 digits here. So let's just jump down to the desk and get started, shall we? First, I'll just bring you up here. I'm wearing headphones because there's a YouTube channel, and he's also on Twitch. It's called The British IBM, and he's doing a live stream right now. I'll pop it in the chat. I think he's really cool. His name's AD. I know him in real life, sort of. And if you want to have him on the background, he's really good. Like the band is about Sinclair and how they could have been the British IBM. So it's worth looking out for. Today's beverage is Staropramen. Don't know where it comes from. Prague. There we go. It says on the front of it. Right. To the bench. Boop. There we go. Now I found some ICs which I think are the touch ICs, but I can't be exactly sure. I don't really know. Michael says, how are you able to do 2 things at once? Well, I'm really doing 3 because I'm talking to you, listening to AD, and concentrating on doing this. So we'll see. Oh, Ben C's gone over there to have a look. I can hear him. Tell him that you popped over from my stream. That'd be funny. He uses restream.io, so he's probably getting chat from all over the place. Right, so first off, we'll start with the 4017, I think. Now, what do you want me to do? Do you want me to do this with a soldering iron or with hot air? Yesterday we did it with hot air. Let's see, where is it? 4017. Is R2 10 meg? No, it isn't 10 meg. But it could be, but it isn't. The thing is, so it could be because I've tried it on the breadboard that way round. Let's come back to the old face. So yeah, I tried it on the breadboard that way round, and I tried it my way round. It works both ways around. So I don't particularly know why, but it does work. But the ideal way is to do it slightly differently. So I've chosen 2 different value components we're going to be swapping those out for. So R2, this is so embarrassing when you've been discovered. R1 is now going to be 2.2K. I've tested that in the breadboard, and R2 is going to be 1 meg. So that works in the breadboard. And I guess I was wrong. Sorry. Hey Zulu. And Pick Scotland as well. Hi. Oh, Mateo's there as well, and Tabletronics. Right, we're going to go back to the bench now. Let's have a... Probably come in a little bit if you want. So what was the decision? Is there a decision? Are we going to go with hot air or solder? Just off a soldering iron. A little bit of a caveat though. I did forget to put this in the fridge last night, so it's been in here all day in about 22 degrees heat. Hey Dustin. Hot air it is then. Tweezers. There they are. Now, a quick reminder of where pin 1 was. Where are you, pin 1? Pin 1 is there. So cleverly, I just put it on the wrong side, really. Not an issue. I'm not going to fix it though, because it was the easiest way to route the thing. Right, I'm just going to squeeze it. Oh, I can hear Adi calling you all out as you go in. Where's that toothpick? I need it. And a bit more here. Well, that's it. It feels like I put too much on, but it's difficult with this setup. Whoops. But that's okay. I have got a plunger, but it doesn't blooming fit. It sort of falls out, and then it's really hard to get up here. So someone told me I should 3D print something. I just haven't gotten around to it. Might be something to do tomorrow. That's far too much, isn't it? It'll make its way in there. All right, here we go. Oh, it's not very... Hang on a minute. Let's bring you in a little closer. Oh, do you know what I've forgotten? I've forgotten to protect my workbench. I'll bring in the floppy disk. And something to prop up the other side. There we go. Yeah, it is a bit too much, but what can you do? This isn't a real floppy disk. This is it actually says just there, silicon coaster. But I do have floppy disks for some old laptops and computers. We might have to get the whoa, don't go so far away. We might have to get desoldering braid on here because I've put too much on, but it's very difficult to take off once you've done it. There we go. Shall I bring it up here so you can see it a bit better? Looks okay. Just needs a bit of toothbrush and isopropyl alcohol action. And then I'm just going to bring it up to my face. One of those pins doesn't look so great, but luckily I don't need all the pins. Where did I get that handy flash of IPA? I use one of these little spray bottles. They're super useful. And so I bought, I don't know, like a litre tub of IPA, and I've had it for about 6 years and not gone through it. So what else is in here? Let's have a little look. So 4017. It needs nothing else. So shall we fire it up and then we can measure on pin 12 and see if we're getting 100 Hertz out. That might be a good idea. Right, bring you out a little bit. Whoops. There we go. Multimeter. All right, where's pin 14? Third pin in. So we're looking for 100 Hertz on that pin. Oh no, is that the input actually? Hang on. It's pin 12, sorry, I've misread. So 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. Is it that one? Oh, there we are. I was looking at the wrong pin. So that is our 100 Hertz. Pretty much bang on. We'd have to look at it on a scope to have it properly measured, I guess, which we'll do eventually. Right. quite impressed with this little USB connector actually. I like it. All right, let's move this stuff up. We don't need that for now. Now next we need one of these bad boys here. And let's have a look where that's going, shall we? So, schematic view. And this is the one we want. So if I click on that, it should show up in here. There we are. Okay, that's not the one I thought it was, so I'm glad I checked. So this one we need the IC and a capacitor, which sets the sensitivity. So it'll be C11, which we're going to have it as a 22 picofarad. No, it's not a USB-C, it's just a micro. Yeah, pin 13 doesn't have an awful lot of solder on it, but it is definitely soldered, or the IC wouldn't be working, because that's the ground pin. Or it's one of the ground pins. The clock enable pin, rather. There it is. So it has to be soldered or it wouldn't be working. So that's the one we want. So let's get that in. Which way round is it going? Where's pin 1? Facing away. Okay. Too much? You know, one of these days I'll get a stencil. Imagine that. There we go. Hot air. Now I imagine this one might fly all over the place. The flow is tamed down. It's already on 2. Just give it a bit of a nudge. Right, there's a little bit of a mess there, so I am going to sort it out with a soldering iron. The airflow is set to 2 of 8. Oh, 80's doing a song called God's Front Porch, which is great. Actually, the rest looks fine, really. Just pick up some solder balls. Yeah, I didn't need to do much there, really. I'll let you come in and have a look. It needs a toothbrush on it, mind, but Is that the right way round? I think it's the wrong way round. I'm just going to clean it off because I can't tell whether it's the right way round or not. It's very hard to see, but there's a bar over here, which if that is pin 1, it should be over here. So I'm going to clean it just in case it's something else. We might have to switch it around. Well, it looks like it's the wrong way round to me. Damn it. I'm just going to zoom in on that one more time and compare it with the ICs that I've got in front of me. Yeah, it's the wrong way around, isn't it? That bar should be on the other side. Well, this is probably the first time I've ever had to use this hot air gun for rework. So, not solder, a bit of flux. I mean, it's all going to just melt away before even the hot air gets on it, but whatever, we're going for it. Get off. Hopefully that is done. That was quite nerve-wracking. I mean, I literally cannot see what's on that IC anymore. Let's clean it off again. Oh, Adie's playing a song called Animal now, which is another really good one. Let's see. This flux is, not flux, this, yeah, flux is a bit sticky now. There we go, it's the right way around. It's good enough for me. Now, the capacitor we need. So we're going to use 22 picofarad. We can alter this if it's not sensitive enough or too sensitive. So that is going over to this pad here, this touchpad. But we're not going to know if it does anything until we put in a 4026 and a display. Right, well, do you know, I wish I'd not given you the option for for solder paste, because I think I'd rather not. Because I just seem to make a bit of a hash of it. That'll do. Well, great. I've got another pair of tweezers here. Hopefully these ones are less sticky. I mean, that's a mess. No. You're doing that again. I mean, the paste is a little bit weird because it's been out all day. Where did that capacitor go? Oh, it's right there. There we go. Absolute cretin. I'm sure it'll wiggle its way into position in a second. There we go. Let's have a little look. I kind of like using this camera as it's almost like having a microscope. If you can focus it. Look at all those solder balls still on there. We'll brush those off now. Right, now we need a 4026. We may or may not need R3. If you remember, that was the pulling the clock down, and we need a display. Oh god, and some resistors. We don't need all the resistors though, we're just going to put one in and then we'll be able to see if it's flashing away, I think. Are you all talking about BitLooney's video? Yeah, I watched that too, it was great. I really liked seeing like the different 3D printed balls as well that he'd tried. I thought that was pretty cool. So 4026, I've got a bunch here. There's, how many is this a quantity? Oh, 80. What's this? Electrostatic sensitive devices. Someone's been putting propaganda stickers on Mauser electronics stuff. These are ridiculously expensive, these 4026s, and apparently electrostatically sensitive. So it's lucky that I've got bare feet and I've been rubbing my feet on the floor. That way round, I think. Yeah, that's right. There we go. I've made those pads a little lighter on solder. Oh, come on now, don't stick to the IC. Is that... Almost. That'll do. We might need to redo this with an iron because I feel like maybe I haven't put enough on now. That looks okay. Well, they're soldered, aren't they? So it just needs a bit of cleanup. Oh, well, I'll wait till it cools down a bit before I spray some IPA on there. I need to have a little break from this. So I'll just chat to you for a bit. This bottle is dripping water. See, I was quite surprised when I went back to... I'm going to have to turn AD off actually while I talk. Yeah, so I was a bit surprised when I went back to Eagle. Not only is it a very familiar place for me, but yeah, it was all correct in the Eagle. So somewhere along the way, the translation from Eagle to KiCad meant maybe I didn't know how to use the tools very well, or maybe I got to a point where I didn't know how to do something, so I skipped ahead to something I did know how to do or I could achieve, and then eventually forgot. But it's just one of those things, isn't it? But if we can bodge the hell out of it and make it work, then I'm all for that. And then I can sort of reverse engineer what I've done and put it back into the schematic, hopefully. Or at least one hopes that's what's going to happen. Never know, really. So I think I said earlier, what I'm going to do is populate 3 of the displays today, and that's about as far as we'll get. But we'll do the first display. So next up, we'll do one of the segments and we'll put 1 resistor on. I mean, actually, it's probably easier if I put all the resistors on because you have to hand solder the display, really. Okay. We'll do... I don't really want to do that, though. So the thing with the resistors is I've chosen 1.6K as my resistor for these LEDs. And I just don't know how bright that's going to be. Like, I didn't want it to be too bright because the 4026 can't handle a heck ton of current. It is in the breadboard in a dip package, but the advice is in the data sheet. In fact, I'm going to double check the data sheet. Let's see. Is that a data sheet? No, it's not a data sheet. Don't you hate it when you get to those websites where it's telling you there's a data sheet there, but it's not? It's like a rabbit hole of clicking on links and links and links. And you never get anything. Yeah, John says it's the odd footprints in KiCad don't have pin 1. Yeah, they don't make it obvious, do they? So over here it's got, over here, you're not looking at that, hang on. So this purple bit is the indicator for pin 1, but it isn't very obvious because it's on a silver pad pretty much. If it was this bit, that would make it much more obvious, but it isn't, sadly. So yeah, the data sheet says at about 5 volts. It's like 1 milliamp or something. Now this is for an older version of the IC, because later on in the data sheet, in fact I could probably bring it over, can't I? Where is that? Doop. There we go. Somewhere in here. So they use transistors and things here, but there was a note. So the interfacing buffers shown, while a necessity with the CD4026A and CD4033A, are not required when using the B devices. The B outputs are 10 times the A outputs, can drive most displays directly at voltages above 10 volts. So I'm using 5 volts, so I'm going to assume that the driving capability is less. And the driving capability for these ones, or the driving capability listed in this sheet, is 1 milliamp. So I'm going to assume if it were running at 10 volts, you'd get 10 milliamps. So I'm going to go for about 2 or 1.5, I think. So the 1.6K is the resistor I've gone for. So I don't know if it's going to work. We'll see. Originally I designed it with 470 ohm resistors. That's what I've done in the breadboard. But they don't need to be as bright as they are in that breadboard. They can be dimmer, and I'm fine with that, really. We'll just see what happens. We can always remove them and put different ones in. So, all right, let's get some bloody resistors in. This will take a while. And we go to that one. Cool. So we'll put resistors in at the top and the bottom here. So we're going to need our cocktail stick / toothpick to dab some stuff on there. This solder paste is pretty rubbish. I need some of that thermally stable stuff. If anyone knows where to get some of that fairly cheaply, that would be good. Like, even if it's just a small amount to try out, you know? It's incredibly difficult to see how much I'm putting on. Not a lot, but it looks like enough. The reason I want the thermally stable stuff isn't that I think it's particularly better, but It does mean I don't have to keep this one in the fridge, and the one of those resistors, I'm fairly sure, has nothing to do with that. Let's have a look. Oh no, they all do. I thought there was one. No, it's fine. I thought there was one for an enable thing or something. Yeah, I hate putting one in the fridge and then having to remember to take it out. There's too much on these pads. I'll have to come back and take some away. Oh. If I'd known I was going to do this hot air, I would have bought a blooming stencil. I'll just catch up on the chat a little bit. I've not been really looking, sorry. There we go. You got yours from Mauser, did you, Dustin? Hey, SDG Electronics. You are way up there in that competition for JLC. Yeah, I figured it probably, I mean, it does pretty much self-regulate, doesn't it? But I do want to use resistors. I want to lower the power anyway. This thing draws, well, on the breadboard at least, it draws close to 200 milliamps. So it'd be nice to bring it down some. Not that 200 milliamps is a lot. Right, where are those resistors? I think we'll go with the 1.6. Those are 10Ks. Where are the other ones? $1.6. How many do I need? I probably should know this. Is it 7? Yeah, of course it is. It's a freaking 7-segment display. Clever. I'm going to put 80 back on for a little bit. Right, 7 of these. I don't really want them to fly everywhere, but luckily I've got this massive piece of PCB where I've not put anything. But I did put that there for a reason, and that's because the touchpad is on the other side. I've got too many out there. Get off. Let's not use those ones. Except for these aren't very grippy. Alright, we're going to have to use the metal ones. Just going to have to dual approach it, I think. Get off! Come on now. How is everything so sticky? There we go. I'm doing that thing where I hold my breath. I don't care if they're going to be the wrong way around either, if you can't read them properly. I don't think it can be magnetism, but it seems like it. I do have a demagnetizer somewhere, but these are ceramic, so that shouldn't be magnetic, but they just can't pick them up. Nope. You absolute tit. Blue tit, that was. Ooh. Oh, for heaven's sake. There we go. Oh, I've gotten, oh dear, I've gotten quite like sweaty from just trying to try that. That was like quite intense. I'm not able to like get right up to the board like I normally would. We don't need Sion here. He'll only tell me off. Yeah, they're just a bit sticky. I'll sort it out in a sec. Right, let's get them soldered. There we go. Let's have a little closer look. That board's quite warm now. That one's not looking so great. Let's check these other ones out. And it probably is connected, but I think I'm going to go to it with that iron and that one there too, just to give them a touch up, that's all. Oops. Sorry, I pressed a button there. There we go. Sorry about that. The temperature on this iron is 379. It's a bit high. There we go. I did the hot air is at 220, so that's very different. SDG says, have you got any flux? The paste looks a bit dry. Yeah, basically I left the flux. I left the paste out last night. It's meant to be refrigerated, and I left it out. And this room was about 27 degrees yesterday evening. So it's probably a bit terrible, but it's working out-ish. And let's get one of these out. Okay, was there anything else that I needed to put in? Does anyone remember? No, I don't think there is. Oh, display on off probably. We might have to do another one. Okay. We might be able to cheese it actually, so we'll just do this as is. Make sure it's the right way around. It is. And then we're going to use the iron here. Okay. This is the part where we find out if I did this footprint wrong, right? Yeah, it looks all right. Yeah, you get a little microphone noise from the soldering iron occasionally. It goes zzz. Right, we should just be able to plug it in, but I want to check on the display line. So if we jump back to the desktop. So here's my display on off, and I'm using a touch IC for that. So it is active high selected, and it's in toggle mode. So where is that? Down here. So if I put that pin to 5 volts, or should I just install it? All right, we're just going to install another one. More of this terrible paste. Oh, I need to print something. I'm going to print it tomorrow. Look at all that. Jesus. That'll do. Okay. Come here. Right, which way is pin 1? Why am I on the screen? Sorry. There you go. Oh, Jet Gyrotech says, don't worry about your paste. Mine's been out of the fridge for 2 years. Well, mine was in the fridge for 2 years before I bought a hot air station thing. Let's have a little look at it, shall we? I don't think it's quite, yeah. That'll do. Did you like that zooming in for the hot air soldering? Right. Now I need another capacitor. I think I'm going to need to order some more of these. Oh God, it's like turning into a liquid now. Oh, that'll do. Oh, it's not going to let go of it. The other tweezers are underneath my hand, so we're going to have to use this. Oh gosh. That'll do. I'm sorry, I got really annoyed at myself there. That'll do. AD, oh god, I forgot, let it cool down. AD is at the moment asking for requests for next week's stream. He does it on Fridays at 8 PM. So if you're into a little bit of acoustic music by the British IBM, go over and have a listen to them. They're really great. So you can go and ask for a song, even a cover sometimes. There we go. Now I think we can plug it in. I haven't got a capacitor on there for the... Oh, I'm actually nervous now. Okay, I need to not do this immediately. Right, so this is like the moment of truth now. We get to see whether it's going to work. Exciting. Oh, just hit the camera there. All right, let's do it. Oh yeah, you probably want to look at it, right? Here we go. Should we go that way around? Well, it's on. Oh, did you see that? So it's too dark. I'm gonna have to change the resistors. Okay, oh, power bank's gone off, hasn't it? So display on off does something weird. So have we connected reset but not start and stop? I think that's what we've done. Done. Micah, you asked this the other day, why don't you use a wall adapter? Well, I just don't have one near me, so I can't. So the resistors are rubbish on there. We'll take this off at another point, but they're good enough for an indication. So when I do on off, it either looks like that's clocking or it's inhibiting the clock, and it should be. Let's have a little look. Oh, wrong one. So inhibit on the clock has a pull down. I don't know why I've done that. So let's find that. and install it. So we need a 10K over there. So let's put one of those on. No, they're not flashing too fast. On the breadboard I can see them. So let's come back to the desk. So R60. I'm not messing about with this one, we'll just use the soldering iron. It would be nice if he sat on the surface. There we go. There we go. A lot easier than that hot air. Right, that should be the problem. There we go. That's what I wanted to see. Oh, you can't see what I'm doing here. So you see it's flashing. So this is counting those digits. And my reset works. Yes. Right. Should we get some more in? We'll get a couple more 4026s in and a couple more displays, and then we'll really be able to see the seconds counting up. Shall we switch those out for 4070s on the next ones? I think we should. Let me see if I can find them. Hang on, I've got to unplug my mic. Back in a second. Right, let's get some brighter LEDs going, shall we? Do you want me to change these ones out? I can do. I'll let you tell me. Yeah, so they're dim because I wanted to drive them at a lower current, but it's it's too low current. So, I mean, they work well in the dark, but that's not really that good. I'll tell you what, if I replace one resistor, and then we can see what the big difference is. You're talking about working from home. I'm working from home for the foreseeable future, I think. Well, hardly working. No, I am. I'm working. But in my real life job, I am a digital content creator. So I do photography and video. And that's very difficult to do when you're socially distancing. So I don't really know what's going to happen with my job. Not meant to be some kind of a sob story, that. So we're going to change one of these. Let's see if we can't heat it up on both sides at the same time and just push it down. Oops. For heaven's sake. That looks fine. That looked terrible, but let's plug it in and see what it looks like. So I don't know which segment that is, but I think you can probably see which one it is. It's not ideal that we're starting on the fastest moving digit, but I'm going to guess it's this one here, look. In fact, if we just reset, yeah, it looks like it's this one here, doesn't it? Yeah, it's much nicer. Okay, we'll do that. Should we take them all off? I've got it's like a little trick here. You can use the bit of this disc to flick the Right, let's put some more on. Soldering iron though this time. That is what the right protect notch is for, it's true. What's torture? There's a little bit too much on there. It's fine. I hope you keep and reuse them. Yeah. Oh, you want to see the lights, I see. That is such a dry solder joint there. How many do we need? 6. Right. Flip off. Nice if you were sitting on the board. Maybe not with that massive blob. I don't have any desoldering braid near me, so we're just going to have to put up with any kind of ugly solder mistakes. Let me move that? No. Well, whatever. You're just going to have to forgive me for these things. Hey, Jay's here. Hi. They keep tombstoning on me. And it's becoming quite a nightmare that it's sticking to these tweezers. There we go. God, this is getting difficult. This is not the way I normally like to solder, just so you know. I've lost it. For heaven's sake. Calm down, David. You are getting upset. Don't remember if I soldered the other side of those resistors or not. I don't think I did. This is ugly. Right, that's horrible, but I think it's done. So let's have a look if that's changed the overall brightness of the darn thing. And then we'll start putting the other bits on. Yeah, that's much nicer. Okay, let's get the other ones on. Johnny, for my Shanghai, for my Shanghai. That's very kind. Thank you. Right, more. So we need 4026s now. Where did I throw those? There they are. I don't actually, they're not very hard to miss. They're absolutely massive. I need to breathe. I need to stop holding my breath when I do stuff. All right, I think these all go the same way around. Okay, I'll just quickly check. They do. Okay. That looks all right. We'll see. Whoa, flip, I was not paying attention. You idiot, Watts. Right, well. Oh, we might as well do the other one while we're here actually. And come back and save that in a second. you know what I was busy doing? I was trying to zoom it in so that you guys could see it reflow. And now I've got to sort out some bridges. Brilliant. Clever Watts. Don't zoom in. Okay, I won't. Henrik, that's very kind. Thank you. I really don't need a chum high though. Right, I think we can just flick those bits out with a soldering iron. It won't take 2 seconds. In fact, we'll just add a little flux on there. And that will help us out. Us. Remember, it's your fault too if it goes wrong. And come back to you. What do I have? Just a bit of wire, I'll sort that out. Everything else looks okay. There are soldables underneath this IC here. I'll just rework that one as well. There we go. That looks lovely. Right, we're going to do these resistors then. Am I going to have to do it with paste? Actually, I'm going to ask your permission. Can I just do it with a soldering iron? Oh look, a wild Brian's appeared. Hey Brian. Yeah, I just use this cheap stuff. Not that you can see that very well. This stuff. It's nice and cheap. It isn't particularly no clean, but it's not corrosive if you don't clean it. It just leaves a sort of sticky residue. And I'll tell you what, we'll stick with the bloody hot air. I kind of like doing it, but it just looks... You just can't do it with the needle on these little pads, that's all. There we go. And then we'll just sort of wait and do the other side. See how much I messed this one up. Alright, how many do we want? 7. That should be 7. Right, let's clean those tweezers. Where are they now? Right, those should be clean now, but it doesn't mean they're going to work. It might be magnetism. Oh no, cleaning did work quite well. I feel like I'm going to need to get glasses soon because these are quite small. Hard to, I mean, I can't read the component value on them. I'm missing one. I am pretty much mumbling to myself. But yeah, I can't, from, what am I, 30 centimeters away, I can't read the writing on these. Which I sort of feel like I should be able to but there we go. What's a butterfly needle? Not heard of one of those. We've got a runaway. Get back in there. There we go. Oh, you couldn't see any of that last bit, sorry. Now let's get another display in. So you guys can all hear that microphone crackle. Oh, we're running down to the last bit of solder here. It's just eating it all up there. That looks all done. So it shouldn't need any extra components to run that one. I mean, we are missing a capacitor, and maybe that's probably a good idea to put some in. Oh, it won't run this one. Because the diode is there. So we need to bridge the diode. Because I don't think I need it. Do we want to bridge it with something? Rather than just putting a ton of solder on. Have I got anything? Let's see if I can find something quickly. did I put all my tools? Huh. When I tidied things away yesterday, I must have moved. Ah, there they are. It's underneath my phone. I've got a little donor resistor here that's just going to let us borrow. Oh, okay. It would if I'd done that and held on to it. Just going to let us borrow one of his legs because I don't think I need the diode and I want to check. They are rubbish. Is that even in focus? No. All right, there we go. So I'll just short that. Now it also doesn't have a pull down, but it should be pulled down by the touch IC, I hope. So let's see if we get 2 displays, and then we're 1 display away from the set that I wanted to do tonight. Oh my God, it's still not bright enough. These are 2 like few 100-watt lights up here though. So there we go. The start-stop's not done. Should I get start-stop going? But display on and off works. And no magic smoke. Oh, power bank turns itself off. That ain't bad. So those are milliseconds. So this is the tens of milliseconds, and this is the hundreds of milliseconds. Yeah. So this goes up to 9, and then it also counts up to 9 from there. So the next one is seconds. So let's throw seconds in. And seconds also doesn't need a diode or a pull down, so I can take those out. We don't need this moody lighting, so let's bring that up. All right, leg of the resistor. It's going to loan us another little bit. There are 3, but I'm not using all 3 of my milliseconds. Who said that? I've just read it. J. 100 milliseconds, not 100th. And so, no, I'm doing the 100 hertz and then the 10 hertz. All right, short that. Johnny, what was that in reference to? It's currently hidden. Oh, well, someone's already shown it. Fair enough. Okay, so now we're going to do more of the bloody awful solder paste. I like it, it's just quite fiddly. And also, I sort of have like, quite honestly, performance anxiety when streaming to you lot. I'm in the very unfortunate position that a lot of the people that watch my stuff know more about what I'm doing than I do. As evidenced yesterday. That's a mess. I'm sure it'll sort itself out. Definitely going to invest in a stencil next time. Although I did see you can 3D print stencils. I saw someone do that. Looked kind of interesting. Is that Sion? I can't remember. Fred, it's the biting of the thumbs. In Romeo and Juliet, it's Mercutio and Tybalt, isn't it? Do you bite your thumb at me, sir? No, sir, but I do bite my thumb. And then he goes on to make worms meat of him. I've got a very, very vivid memory of reading that when I was a kid. Alright, we need more of those 470 ohm resistors. Oh God, why do I keep not putting this in shot? And none of you keep telling me off either. Why am I doing this with it still plugged into the USB? Gently does it. I'm not quite sure why my hands aren't. They usually shake when I have to do this. I did have a big dinner though, so it probably helps. And I've not quite drunk enough of this beer yet for it to have any kind of sedative effect. I don't know how many people are watching right now. I'm not looking at any stats or anything. I've only got the chat open. If it's more than 10, I'll be happy. There we go. 79. You're all you're suckers for punishment. Oh, do you know what? I have to stop there for a second because I've just remembered my mat is not heat resistant. Sorry. Hopefully they'll sort themselves out. You're right, I think I do need a beer pause. Thank you for the reminder. It's kind of like when you guys remind Sion that he needs to drink his coffee. I just need to drink my adult drink. What time is it? How has this been 2 hours? Okay. Not quite so nervous anymore. I don't know why I was nervous. I'm super used to making loads of mistakes on stream or on camera for you all. Right, so the next thing, we just need to pop on one more display and figure out whether I was right and we don't need those diodes, and we also don't need those pull down resistors, which is going to make routing easier. Let me bring the chat over here so it doesn't look like I'm staring off somewhere else. One dislike, eh? That's all right. You know, I don't mind dislikes. I just wish those people wouldn't come back again and dislike another video, that's all. So is anyone making anything tonight or this weekend? I put some work into that project I'm doing with Liz today. So this morning I tried to get it to work in MicroPython, but I can't do it. I just can't. Do you know, it's like I'd like having a loop and calling functions from out of that loop and stuff, and it's just hard to get my head around what MicroPython is. I liked it to start with, but doing exactly the same thing, which is really time sensitive stuff, as I'm doing in the Arduino, is proving a bit more difficult. Maiko says, David, did you not make your live stream be announced to your subs last night? No, I started it about 10 minutes before. So I set it up about 10 minutes before I decided to do a stream. And today I just did it an hour before. I hadn't really intended on doing it. Just a whim, really, on a whim. I just decided to do it. I thought this board has been left there for too long, and I need to get on it or I'm going to lose interest in it. And that's generally what happens with loads of my projects. I just don't touch them for ages and then I've lost interest. That dice, for example, lost interest in that. I think the HAL 9000 project might go that same way unless something makes me interested in it. Then what else? The Crap Cricket. I mean, that's ready to go if I wanted to sell it. I don't know if anyone wants to buy it though, that's the thing. I think I might have 70 Crap Crickets. I'm not sure. Dustin says, the video where you asked Liz made me pick up my guitar again. Now my fingers are not video friendly anymore. Oh, mate. That, I played it for a very short period of time in that video. That video took only 20 minutes to make in total, like all of the bits. And my fingers hurt after that. I don't play guitar anymore. And I didn't play it very well when I did play it. So, I don't know, I guess you'd say I'm a musician, but I'm like a rubbish musician who doesn't really play any music because I picked up all these things. I don't know why I'm still wearing these. I'm not listening to anyone anymore. Oops. Let's put these away. And on my like cheap AirPods. Something like that. They're only 20 quid. Super cheap. Yeah, I think a lot of people have tried a musical instrument and found out that they can't really be bothered. And then when they, again, if you've left it for too long, just like Dustin was describing, you haven't got the calluses on the end of your fingers anymore, and so picking it up is a painful experience. And then you have to try and see if you've got the strength in your finger to do a bar chord, and I could never do that. So anyway, last display, let's do it. Right. Oh, actually, I did want to ask you, since there's loads of you here, and I didn't know there were going to be loads, is anyone watching anything interesting? Because I haven't got anything to watch at the moment, apart from YouTube. But sometimes I feel like I need to get away from my computer, you know, so like to do something like in the living room on the telly. I haven't turned the telly on for a very long time. So yeah, I've got access to Netflix or, what's the other one, Amazon Prime. So I can watch either of those. Right, are you not straight there? No, you're not. There we go. So yeah, I can watch Netflix. A sci-fi called Fringe. Are you kidding? I have seen all of Fringe. I loved it. Although it did get a bit weird. I liked it when they were like solving crimes and things. But when they went over to the... Oh wait, I don't want to spoil it, but when you find out about the alternate bit, then I wasn't all that into that bit. And I had someone who used to be in some teen show that I was young enough to see. Dawson's Creek. Joey Pacey? Something like that. Dune. Is there a TV series of Dune? Is there a new thing? Right, that's the other one on. It's the right way round. Should we plug it in and see? I'll turn the lights off in advance. Did we do everything we needed to do? I think so. Oh, there we go. So those are the seconds counting up. That ain't bad. So we can reset that at any time using our little reset button here. And we can turn the display on and off. So it's on 4, 5, 6, 7. Oh, the power bank timed out. Hang on, we'll do that again. So we're on 2, 3, display off, 4, 5, 7, 6, 7. So it doesn't stop it, it's just inhibiting the display. So that's pretty good. Also auto resets after 10 seconds. Well, we can wait and see. If I turn the torch on the power bank, maybe it won't switch off the output. Oh, I'm so pleased. So reset works fine. Display on off is a toggle and that's working fine. Start stop. Should we do that before we finish up for the day? Let's just get start stop on. Which just means I think putting one more of those on. Maybe. What's R69 up here? Oh, bloody hell, I bet that's something to do with start stop, isn't it? No, that's the LED on the front of the board. So start stop. Let's have a little look on the old schematic. Start stop. Must be over here somewhere. Start stop has a pull down that's R60. Oh, we've already installed that, haven't we? So it's just about putting a capacitor and the touch on. So let's do that now. It won't take long, and then we'll feel like I've not cheated you out of some content. So let's jump down here. I haven't looked at the little chat for a bit, sorry. Where is it? There we go. So we get one more of those in. We'll do hot air this time. R69 is... What one was that? I don't know the search function in here, to be honest. Dave, where's R69? Oh wait, I've totally just got what you were doing. It was a funny, wasn't it, Dave? 420. Yeah. No, let's not worry about it. Dave Darko was just being hilarious. Right, so let's just squeeze a bit of this paste out, not much. It comes out pretty easily now because it's basically melting like an ice cream. There's also a capacitor, we can do that at the same time. All right, well, it's just, was it C12? It is C12. So let's just put a little blob on there. That'll do. And one more of those, Dave. One more of those 22 picofarads. This is going to be an awful lot easier with tweezers that aren't sticky. Look how easy that was to do. And then pin 1 is there, so where is it on our schematic? Let's have a little look, not on the schematic, on the board layout, to the top. That look all right? Close enough, it'll wiggle its way in. Right. I'm going to zoom in for this one because it's the last one of the day. Don't you wiggle about too much there, I see ya. I'll just try and go a bit more from the top. In fact, there we go. I can't read chat that much. Hang on, what's up? Defcom Electronics and Repair. Hello, mate. How are you doing? Oh, I missed a load of stuff. I'm sorry. I'm trying to concentrate. What have I done? C12 balling up. Yeah, it looks fine, I think. Well, you can have a look closely. In fact, we'll clean it first. Probably a bit of a hot board, but whatever. Let's get all those little solder balls out. And then you can see for yourself if it looks all right. Oh, that's a little bit like askew. Is that the right word? It looks okay. I'm gonna drop the soldering iron down one side of it though. Well, we won't have to do that one. Screw it, we'll just... There we go. Jet Gyrotech says you should just finish the project. I can't, it's too late. I've got stuff to do tomorrow. I'm doing something really, really cool actually. I am, in the UK they've got this thing called a bubble, where if you live on your own, you can go and be in someone else's bubble. So tomorrow, I get to go to a friend's house and hang out inside their house, which I'm really, really excited about. Right, what was I doing? Oh yeah, that's for the start-stop. Is everything too hot? No, everything's fine. Right, so we should have start-stop functionality now. And that's where I'll finish. The reason I want to finish there is because, let's turn the light back on. It's because there's a lot more that can go wrong and I don't want to run into a problem and end on a low note. So the other bits that could go wrong here are the touch bits for incrementing the hours and the minutes, or minutes and the hours. Also, these diode connections, these ones I didn't need. I think I just duplicated them when I was copying my 4026 in a modular fashion. But also, there's a 4073 over here, which is a triple input AND gate. And I might have screwed all that up as well. So don't start with any of that nonsense. Oh God, it is the wrong way around. Oh, how did I put it the wrong way round? For heaven's sake. Okay. Now the bubble thing just means that you can go and spend time with someone in their own house, whereas right now that's not possible. You cannot go into someone else's home. So Rotor got that right. Well done, mate. It's a great spot. I appreciate it. Now, let's pop it back on. Come on. Don't do this to me. That'll do. Yeah, so if you're in a bubble, you don't need to socially distance. So basically the bit that I'm excited about for tomorrow is that... Oh, Leonard Smith. Wow, what a nice man. Yeah, basically it means I can go and give someone a hug tomorrow, which is pretty freaking special. Right, should we see if that's... The board's a bit too hot. I'm gonna wait. I'll put the fan on it for a second. Think of a wife. I'm sure you've got a partner. You must care about socialising a little bit. It's alright. No one needs to moderate any comments. It's fine. And he's allowed to say what he's like, whatever he wants. If I genuinely don't like what someone says, I'll ban them. But I've only ever done that to 2 people, and that's because one of them was being horrible. Right, okay. Let's turn these really bright lights off. So it's still running, that's good. Reset still works. Display on off still works. Ha ha! Okay, so it stops. Display on off. Oh, bloody hell, power bank. I'm gonna have to keep pressing the button, sorry. So, reset. Display on off. Stop. Start. Ha ha! Yes! Oh, that is ace. I am very happy about that. So, just a reminder, if you haven't been following along with this, no microcontrollers here. It's all just CMOS logic. Well, that's not quite true. Okay, so we've got some touch ICs. But there's no like special computer in there, I don't think. I think it's just a load of logic. Ah, yes. Unbelievable. So far my only F up is the clock circuit, and that's laziness. So not a lack of knowledge. So I don't have to learn a lot there apart from be more careful. And yeah, next, I don't know if I'll do it as a stream because there might be nothing to discover. But next I need to populate the rest of these. And up until we get to... Actually, the next digit is the one that has to reset at 5 rather than on carryover of 9. So the next one will tell me whether I've messed up on my 4073. If I even used it for that one. I may not have done. It might be that I just used... because I can trigger off the outputs. Yeah, so... No, I'm using the 4073 on that one, so that one triggers into the minute. Because the 4073 will reset the IC, but it also is the clock for the next IC, so for the next 4026. So it triggers the next digit along when it resets itself. That's why I need those diodes in there. Okay. Right, I'm going to drink the rest of this beer. There's not a lot here. And finish up. So Def Bomb says she's a social one. She makes up for it. Have you got kids, Scott? I didn't know that. I didn't want to call you Scott unless someone else did. It's all right, Leonard. I was only like mildly telling you off. You can say what you like in here. It's okay. As long as you're not bullying anyone, that's fine. Dave, are you tipsy? I don't think I've ever known you to be tipsy. Hey, Alex Beardmore. Hiya. Alex is more of a Twitter person that I see a lot on Twitter. Andy Powell says, anyone remember a 7-inch floppy disk? No, I don't think I do. And I have got some weird storage media here, really. One of these days I'll make a little video about some of the storage media I've got. In fact, let me just go and grab something and show you, because it is interesting. It's not related to this. Sorry, mic's coming off again. Oh, I needed that, damn it. Just turn that fan off, don't need that anymore. So I've got a camera here. One of these, have you seen one of these before? Some of you might not have seen little camcorders and stuff, but this one has something super interesting in it. One thing that I've never ever seen in my entire life, which is getting longer and longer each year, but it is this. Let's see if it will focus on it. Be nice if it did. A mini SD. Have you ever heard of a mini SD? I had to Google it. I didn't even know it was a thing. Mini SD card. I mean, of course, there are loads of different kinds of SD cards, and I've got quite a few, or, you know, like flash storage cards. But where is the 555? Asked Johnny. Got to use a 555. Do you know, I did consider it for a bit, just because I thought it would be funny and Brian would hate it. And I thought I could create my clock. The clock pulse could have been a 555, but it wouldn't be accurate at all. That said, hey, you printed the save icon. That's hilarious. Oh, he's talking about the mat. I love the silicon mat. Yeah, like it's a coaster, but they're made of silicon, which means I can use them for soldering. So I'm quite pleased with it. Oh, Scott, were you furloughed? 5 weeks tinkering in my lab and still getting paid. That was good. Sadly, I have to work from home, so not that I really know what I'm doing. I've been doing some live streams for work. I did a 6-hour live stream the other day. It turns out it's quite shattering when you're doing work stuff. But a lot of my colleagues have realised I've got a YouTube voice, apparently. It's not, well, whenever you're talking to anyone that's not next to you, you've got a kind of a voice. It's like a telephone voice, I guess. Less so with you guys because I'm drinking a beer, but... Oh, Renee. Thank you very much. This one is actually warm now. I'm not even kidding. It's been sat here for over 2 hours. God, the chat's too long. Here we go. Johnny remembers them, do you? The 7-inch floppy disks. Oh yeah, I remember, Scott, your house got flooded. And Maiko's got a mini, you've got an SD mini adapter, that's brilliant. Oh, the floppy disk camera. And what were they? Was it like the Sony DSC something? When I first started so I had a job in web development stuff a long time ago, and for the web we needed to get digital images on to the computer, and they had one of those floppy disk cameras. The floppy disk would slot in the back and the side, and you could record 10 shots on there, I think, in low resolution, and then like 1 or 2 in high resolution mode. An RTC would not be usable, it means it only counts subseconds. Yeah, an RTC, generally they only have like a 1 hertz output, so... Is that... I don't know if you're talking to me. Anyway. Alex Beardmore says, how old are you, if you don't mind me saying? You're guessing similar age to me, 34 very soon. I'm older than that. We'll leave it at older than that, I think. I think that's fine. Sony Mavica, that's it. I'm sure there was a camera that recorded onto mini discs. I loved the mini disc format. That was the pinnacle for me. If I could have, I wanted like, in fact, LGR, I don't know if you watch, is it Lazy Game Reviews or something? LGR does retro tech videos, basically, on old computer stuff and games. And he does, what's the weird tech one called? I can't remember. But V for Westlife does it as well. And he does these like weird bits of technology, and there was a mini disc storage one on there. That was cool. I'm not that age where I care about it. I'm 37. I was 37 on... Oh, I don't want to give my birthday away. The end of May this year. So that's when I turned 37. I mean, hopefully I look 36. Oh, maybe it was Techmoan. No, Techmoan does loads of mini disc audio stuff, but I don't think he did the data storage one. One of my friends is turning 40 this year. It's got a rather unfortunate birthday. It's the 11th of September. I don't know how he's feeling about it. I think I mean, when I turned 30, I got used to that idea that I was turning 30 when I was 29, so it wasn't a big issue. But it's like an end of your younger years, isn't it? But I don't know about how people feel about 40. I don't think I'm really going to be bothered. Thanks, Alex. Yeah, I don't really tell people about my birthday or put it on social media. David, will you ever make your own Discord? Probably not. I sort of struggle to keep up with the Discords that I'm like a member of, so it's really be difficult, I think. And I struggle to keep up with a regular schedule on YouTube. Life begins at 40. It does. Do you know what? I honestly, when I was younger, I was thinking, I can't wait to be older, because then I can get away from my family and do stuff, and I'll live in a house on my own or whatever. And then I got to my 20s and I thought, oh God, I still can't wait to be older because I'm not earning any money. You know, I feel like an idiot. I haven't had enough life experience to be remotely comfortable in any social situations. And now that I'm in my later end of my 30s, I'm fairly comfortable. Like, social situations, I've experienced most of them. You know, funerals, weddings, work things, job interviews. I've been and done a fair number of those things. So there's not much that I go into without being terrified. Streaming, I still find quite talking to you lot, I still find kind of terrifying sometimes. But Yeah, 40s, I think that's where it's at, mate. You're right. Although there's a guy at my work who says 50 is where it's at. I think that's because he's just tipped over and then just decided. Right, that's that beer done. It's late. I'm going to call it a night. Thank you so much, everyone, for coming along. Honestly, you make it worthwhile. I mean, I probably would have done that in like half an hour, but on my own without other people here. But the stress of doing it on stream does take a little bit of time. Do you want to see how much clearance there is on these, actually? Let's see if I can't bring this up. It's not an awful lot, just before we go, but more than I'd care for. Is it going to focus? Come on now. You can basically see me through it. So there's a bit more of a gap than I'd like. And I think we might, on the rerun, take 1/4 of a millimetre out so it fits in. Okay, right everyone. I hate to ditch you because I know there's quite a few of you there. But there must be some other nerd on the internet doing something. Scott, maybe you could spin up a stream quickly or something. You love doing a stream. You're always super comfortable on yours. I'm always like a bag of nerves. And I make more mistakes than you. Right, where's this window that I have to close? Okay. I'm clicking the buttons. Bye everyone. Stay safe. And come say hi again at some point.